The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Come along for the ride as our new band of adventurers continues to investigate what's going on at the town of Valshond. They've uncovered a few clues as well as many of the items missing from the town. What's next? Let's listen in. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to The Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Definitely look us up on the internets. We're on Facebook. We've got a group there called Adventures from the Shed. We appreciate your comments and questions there, so find us there. We are back in the shed. We are playing a new Dungeon World campaign set in the world of Paradisi, finding out who is amongst our people playing. We're going to go around the table and say hi to them. We'll start with this guy right here.
This is Chris. I'm playing Uriel the Immolator.
All right. This is Kelly. I'm playing Trillium. She's a druid.
And this is Kurt. I'm playing...
Kurt is muted.
Kurt is muted.
From the chomping.
Now I'm back, and better than before. This is Kurt. I am playing Breton. He is a human ranger.
And this is Bridget. I am playing Lenore, the human cleric.
And I am Joe. I am the game master for this Dungeon World game. We're going to get a quick recap of our last session from, I think it's Chris?
Sure.
We'll say Chris. Go, Chris.
Right. So at the start of the last one, we had Trillium turned into a salamander to sneak into the cave and see what was going on. She found a bunch of the missing items from town and noticed there was a horrible stench from maybe some rotting leftover food or waste products of whatever was, using the cave. We decided to hang out and see who showed up. Turned out it was a band of hobgoblins that were using the cave to store their stolen goods. And they left, and we kind of just let them leave on their own, and we ended up taking what we could carry back to town and informed the sheriff of what was going on. And our plan now is to kind of lay in wait to see who shows up in the town tonight to see if anybody's going to steal anything.
That sounds pretty good. So, yeah, Sheriff Phillip said his biggest interest is making sure it doesn't happen again. If we want to search more to the roots of what's causing everything, that's fine. But he really just wants the theft to stop so that the town feels safer again. There are a couple of the families who are still missing items that are willing to put up at least some form of reward if they are retrieved. And, of course, the town is going to find a way to celebrate you guys if you can get the whole thing to stop.
Sweet.
All right.
Free meals at the Piggly Wiggly.
The pig, yeah. Excuse me. So from there, it's the next day. We're in the next day. What is the plan that you guys want to carry out? The sheriff is not really a tactician. He doesn't really have the best answer.
Daytime, I'm working. You guys maybe could try to see where the hobgoblins may have went to. They went north?
Yes, that was the direction that Kelly said.
Yeah, so maybe get more details on that for during the day, and then at night we could do the plan of just wait and see who shows up.
What do you think? It depends if we just want to defend the town like sheriff, or if we want to go out and be more active investigators. And I am totally fine either way for now.
Yeah, because we don't know, like you said, are the hobgoblins doing the stealing, or are they just kind of like the middlemen taking it to the load-off point and someone else is doing the act of burglaries? Because I don't see hobgoblins sneaking around. It just doesn't make sense.
Plus, no one smelled them.
Yeah.
And they smelled pretty bad.
And they're not usually quiet.
No,
and they're big.
Yeah.
So perhaps there's something else going on.
So I think maybe rather than spending all this time walking north following hobgoblins, we should maybe just hang out at the Piglet and wait until the evening and see, and then set up a watch and see who comes.
That works.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to pass on hanging out, and I'm going to head to the area of the forest that is the holy area, and I'm going to try to forage for some seeds.
Oh, right, for your plant. I forgot about that.
The anti-hobgoblin plant.
Yes.
Yes. Is a sacred plant.
The only catch about this plant is that it will take and grow in another spot other than this holy area of the forest. However, it may not thrive.
Oh, okay.
So it could be
So
it
it's
could
not
be a
kudzu.
temporary deterrent, but
Okay.
it may not thrive on the edges of the forest, being that they are not blessed.
Okay. So that's what Trillium is doing through today. You're going to come back for the nighttime festivities of looking out for stuff? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Trillium, I don't know if I can do this again.
You'll find
like
out.
I'm kind of new to what I can and can't do, but being that she can shapeshift into animals, is it fair to say that she has the ability to be nocturnal or not if she wants to be? So, like, really,
I don't see why not.
time doesn't quite affect her the same way as...
It would probably be very difficult for you to get exhausted,
Right.
like overtired. Right. That
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So...
It would also make sense that instead of walking home, you could just turn into an eagle and fly,
Right. Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
It is. And it should be pretty easy to bring back seeds as a bird as well. You just regurgitate them when you get
Stick them in your
back.
gullet.
Stick them in that gullet. Yeah.
Cool.
Breton would likely go spend just a little bit of time working on his archery skills. Every day, he likes to try to get in a little bit of time at the range.
Is there any
things sharp.
specific tree or item you shoot at, or?
Nope. So I say the range, but that's a joke. No, actually, I would go different places and kind of set different targets and things,
Okay.
and just work from different distances. So I'd just go find a spot, just out in the woods that I like. Spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
And what does Lenore do during the day?
Cool stuff.
Cutting and scratching. Wiki.
I have no idea.
No?
Have you procured my services for that specialty
No, I was
item
thinking
yet? Or?
I may be over at the forge trying
There you
to
go.
get you to craft me that item.
All right. So after work lets out for the
Yeah,
day,
because it would probably take me a full day to do something like that.
Yeah. The dinner time comes and goes. It's starting to get dark outside. What is the plan for how you're going to keep an eye on the town?
I assume is there only like one main entrance of the town, or is there multiple entry points? Is it a walled town, or is it
It's
kind of
not
wide
walled.
open?
It's not walled at all.
Okay. Is there
Some people have fences around their property, but that's about it.
Is there a part of town where there's more, well-to-do people that would probably get stolen from, or is it just kind of
they're
mixed?
farther from the road.
Okay.
So the main road that passes right through town, the wealthier people are farther away from that road.
Okay.
Why don't we set a honey pot with like a gold here sign, like a door wide open?
Yeah. Interesting idea. Do you want to do it?
I mean, it's
And has there been like a message from the sheriff like, "Hey, please lock your doors, close your,"
Well, I
Or
mean, when
people
he
still
passes,
just kind of being like lax and just like, well,
when he sees people in passing, he's mentioning to them, make sure you secured your valuables. Yeah, even if you don't lock your front door, hide your valuables, put them in a safe, whatever.
But somebody stole the street lamps,
Yeah,
so they're pretty brazen.
yeah, definitely.
but there's not like an town guard like
Correct.
walking. The
Yeah, when it gets dark here, there's a few lights out there, but nobody's patrolling the streets or anything. And if anybody's rowdy and leaving the pig late at night or something, they just stumble their way back to their hotel room or to their home or whatever it may be.
Could we just put kind of one of us at each of the cardinal directions to keep watch? I mean, it's a pretty
Yeah.
small town if there's only a few hundred people
Yeah.
downtown, right?
Yeah.
It is unlikely that whoever is doing it is walking down the main road,
Yeah.
right? Because
kinda wanna be in
that's
the
where the
well-to-do.
lights are typically,
Yeah, we want to be in the well-to-do area.
where you would think that. Yeah.
And we should pick houses like that because there's already been a group of houses that have been stolen from. These should be houses that haven't been stolen from yet, that are, people might have valuables.
Although whoever is doing it, if they know that all the stuff has been taken, then they know that that stuff may be back where it went to. Actually, if everything's
Well,
sitting at the sheriff's office, then that's a place that they might be likely to go to.
But they don't know that.
Well, unless it's one of you.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
And Kelly's singing, was it me?
It's Cloud. Cloud's been taking everything.
Dude, I can't remember.
But and I'm just thinking that idea. If whoever it is goes to check their stash before they come in here, or if it's the hobgoblins, they already will know that something's missing. So
Yeah,
it's
'cause
up
we
to you how
cleared
you
that
approach
cave
it.
out.
Well, no, they wouldn't know because it was last night. We took
Oh.
all the stuff. They probably didn't go back there. They would go back tonight, but they
Maybe.
might not do that until they get the stuff, then go back. So they technically might not know it's been
Yep.
stolen. Just saying.
Agreed.
Or they think somebody just stole it, and like who knows it was anything to do with the town folks. Too.
Yeah.
Are we trying to get to the bottom of who's behind this, or are we trying to get rid of these hobgoblins?
Well, we definitely want to stop whoever shows up. We want to make stop.
Don't
Whether
do
we
this,
capture or kill, that hasn't been decided. We want to put a stop to whoever's stealing it. But do we want to try to find out the mystery of who's calling the shots? I don't know yet.
I could take a ride along with one of the hobgoblins.
How can you do that?
I could turn into a tick.
The tick.
That's it.
You're not going to be able to stand the stench.
Yeah, I could. A
Okay.
tick? Yeah. Ticks don't care.
Ticks
They
don't
have an
care.
excellent sense of smell.
Okay.
They're just out for that blood.
Okay.
I mean, I'll
The
suck some
hobgoblins
goblin
probably have
blood
ticks
for a
anyway.
minute.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
I'm good with it.
All right.
That's an interesting thought. Let's try. Well, first off, you'd have to find them.
Mhm.
Do you know where to find them?
No.
Okay.
My only hint would be to wait at the cave until they come at night to
Okay.
bring whatever they've stolen.
But they're going to hit the town first, so you might as well just hang out in town first.
Okay.
So let's pick a spot where you guys think you want to hang out. Is it main area, richer people? So nobody's rich here, but the richest person in town is still the richest person in town.
Yeah. Say hang out around there.
Other houses where you think things haven't been stolen yet? Excuse me. What are your thoughts of where you want to be
I think
when
we
the
should-
next
yeah.
thing happens?
We should pick a few of those spots, and then maybe Trillium could talk to some of her bird friends, and we could have a broader lookout. Maybe if we got 10 or 12 little birds keeping an eye on
Birds, yeah.
the dark parts of town,
Birds are the way to go.
and they could put up a
Yeah.
call or a signal if they see something.
Yes.
Maybe.
It's a good thing in Breton. All right. See, this is why I let you handle me when I'm a horse. Like,
Yeah, we're nature lovers.
They get each other.
Chris almost choked on
We're on the
it.
same wavelength.
This is why I let you handle me when I'm at home.
Well, somebody has to do it.
Well, it has to happen.
Gotta rein her in sometime.
No, but that sounds like a good idea, right? We can have a bunch. We can have a bird
Sounds like a good
watch.
idea.
Yeah,
Army.
bird watch.
Use crows or ravens.
Bird
or
watching.
wrens.
We're going to spend the night bird watching. That's awesome.
hey, I would love to
and
spend
then
the night bird watching.
We should keep someone at the sheriff's office just because there's a huge stockpile of gold there, and if somehow they figure that
The
out,
sheriff's there.
He is. I mean, he lives
Actually,
there.
that's a good point.
He's
Sheriff-
good.
He lives there, but he also sleeps.
Yeah,
Right?
so-
He's a lazy
And then,
sheriff.
like Uriel said, probably in the let's go towards the better part of town.
That's where I'm hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Almost every sheriff or every law enforcement person you run into is going to be deficient in some way. Otherwise, there would be no need for you guys.
Right.
If they could just take care of everything themselves.
So
Yeah.
relaxed about
Because
this
he's in on it.
issue. I mean, we told him. Like,
You just
how did
gave
he
him
not know
everything.
about
He didn't
this?
have to go pick it up himself. Awesome.
Suspicious.
In my worlds, at least, in most of the games you play, it's or pre-written adventures. They lack something, which is why the whole reason the adventurers are there to pick up the plot hook and run with it.
Right.
There's hardly, I don't know of any adventure I played where every law enforcement officer is competent. There's something wrong that they can't fix, so you're in town to help them fix it.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean he isn't in on it, and that doesn't mean he doesn't know how to do his job. He's just not doing it well right now, and looking for some help. So
I think maybe I'll stay around the sheriff's
okay,
building and
it's an
keep
office,
watch when
home-
he goes
home office.
to sleep.
Sure, that sounds reasonable.
Oh my goodness.
Uh oh.
Sorry. As an aside, I just saw the whole command.
Oh,
where I
for
get
your
to
pet.
add all of my
Yes.
pet's bonuses to my bonuses when I do things.
Yeah, as long as you can word it in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, that was the other part of the Ranger where I was saying if you get a good grasp on your animal companion, it helps the game. But there's things like, well, I'm going to shoot that guy 50 yards away with a bow and arrow, and because my wolf has ferocity, I'm going to get a +1 to my attack. Explain
Right.
how your wolf next to you gives you advantage
Right.
or a bonus somebody 50 yards away.
Yep.
If you figure that out, though, that's great. But
Got it.
he runs up and bites him at 50 yards. Yeah, right. But anyway, that's the stuff to keep an eye on. How you manipulate that animal companion so that it does serve those numerical purposes.
Cool.
All right, we're going to just skip right ahead to a little bit later in the night. And where is Uriel?
I'm hanging out in the rich part of town.
In the rich part of town. All right. Excuse me. Let's say it's past midnight, and you hear a noise, a really like a soft, clicky kind of noise coming from a house right near where you are, and you see out of the corner of your eye a small shape just kind of flee into the shadows.
How small? Like child small or bigger than that?
Yeah, let's call it child / small adult / halfling / dwarf, something.
Okay.
Something that was clearly not a young child, at least an experienced mover.
Okay.
So probably at least teenage if it's a child.
All right. I will quietly make my way over to where I last saw that person.
Okay. So right outside the back window to this house, you can see a couple of small footprints, size 7, 8 shoe maybe.
Follow them size 5s.
Yeah. In the soft dirt right outside the door, and as it moves towards the harder ground, the footprints just kind of vanish. Well, they're not good footprints.
All right. I'll move up to the building.
Okay.
This is the door.
That window is open, probably about a foot.
I'll peer inside. Take a look around.
It looks like there's a couple people sleeping in a bed right inside that window.
But no one else to be seen.
No.
I'll do like a walk around the house to see if there's any other open doorways or windows or anything.
As you walk around the house, you see no other openings, windows or doors. Nothing else is open in the house.
So I'm thinking this person went into this building, but I can't be sure.
You may have seen him leaving or entering. It was just a glimpse of something small moving away or out of your line of sight.
So they were going away from this house?
They could have been leaving it, yeah.
Okay. Which way do the footprints go? Away from?
Call it towards the outside of town. So this house is within, a few hundred feet from the edge of the official town, and the footprints are headed in that direction.
All right, I'll try to go as fast as I can.
Okay.
Keep track of the footprints.
Where is, what's his face there? Breton.
Breton?
Might he be in a similar area?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I probably would have tried to get up on like a rooftop for watching.
Okay.
But I would probably be fairly close to where he's at.
Okay. So the only one who probably wouldn't see this going on at this point would be Lenore, because you'd be closer
the
towards the
building.
road where the sheriff is. And then the birds, a couple of little birds come over to Trillium and chirp, 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 which is that guy, the red guy is chasing something,
Okay.
is what
The
they
red
tell you.
guy.
The red guy.
All right.
Because that's how birds
Red
talk.
guy run, red guy run.
They're kind of bird-brained, as it were.
Red Run.
Birds are very
Red Run.
resourceful.
Red Run.
They're very smart.
So both Trillium and Breton, you can see Uriel pretty much as he gets just out of the little bit of light that's there towards the shadows, and he's clearly chasing something. Call it towards the north side of town, leaving town. And you're welcome to pursue if you like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You all want to just follow up? All right. You're able to track if you want. From here, you'll be better at it joining in.
Yeah.
okay. So-
In the meantime, he's going in the direction he thinks is right. If you can get in there and help him get into the right
Because
direction.
when we get to the forest, it's going to be rough.
So would that be hunt and track for
Yep.
me?
Yep.
Awesome. So I roll plus whiz. Is that correct?
Plus whiz.
Plus whiz.
Add your whiz.
Oh, I did not roll so hot. I rolled 5 on the dice, and my wisdom is +1.
That's a fail.
That is a fail.
So
Ouch.
mark an experience.
Oh,
This
yes.
is our first time in Dungeon World. You get experience anytime you roll a failure.
So the more you fail, the more you level up.
Yes. The more you fail, the better your chances of not failing later. But in the meantime,
Like real life.
yes. In the meantime, what happens is, as Breton gets down there and starts looking at the tracks that go in, unfortunately, I think he picked the wrong track, and you start to go off in one direction, and you hear some grunts and shouts over to the other side, and the next thing that happens is arrows fly to where the three of you are hanging out. So there was a warning sent up, and then some shouting, and arrows are shot at you. Do you wish to try and avoid these arrows?
Yes.
So this is a danger immediately approaching you. You hear the whistling arrows and you know the fletching flying through the air, and you turn just in time to see them approaching you.
So
How
is
do you
it
react?
like a defy danger with
What
dexterity?
do you do? Well, what do you do when an arrow's flying at you?
If I can see it, I'm going to dive and roll
You're
out of
going
the
to
way.
see it at the last moment.
Trying to take cover.
Because you hear a noise first, you turn, and you hear the arrows flying through the air.
Actually, I probably wouldn't dive. I would probably, I've got my cape,
Okay.
so my natural reaction would probably be to grab my cape and try to cover like that, make a kind of a wall.
That's an interesting thought. What would you call that? Out of the stats we have, I'm thinking the first was like Constitution, but because you're going to let the
thinking.
arrow hit you, but
thinking.
not necessarily you.
Right. I don't mind if it
No.
hits my cape. It's a foot away from me.
So what would you
or
wanna
even
call
using
it?
the cape to
Swat,
swipe it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're aiming at the arrow, that sounds dexterous.
Yeah, I mean, I think dexterity is the closest.
Okay.
So
So you go ahead and defy that arrow with some dexterity. See if you can.
6 + 2 is 8.
Okay. So you're able to stop the arrow from hitting you, but it does tear a big piece of your cape, cloak thing, and that might cause some problems for you if you like start running and it gets under your feet or something.
Okay.
That's definitely ripped up.
Better than taking an arrow.
What do you two want to do with the arrows coming at you?
I'm just running for cover, so I guess I'm getting out of the way.
That would sound like a dexterity as well.
11.
11. Yeah, you run successfully away from the arrows. You dodge
Dang.
the arrows.
Okay.
What Trillium want to do?
I want to turn into a hawk and find out where these arrows are coming from.
How do you avoid getting hit by the one that's flying at you?
I am running.
Okay.
I'm running and eventually going to.
So making yourself
Turn
smaller,
into-
maybe?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
smaller
like
targets?
I want to.
So let's avoid that arrow first if we can. And that
Okay.
sounds like dexterity. So you'll defy
Yes.
this danger using your dexterity.
Okay, dex.
So what do I need?
You need to roll the 2 dice. And then if you look at the basic move sheet, there's a defy danger move.
Yeah, so you're using dexterity.
Yep.
Where's that at?
You're just getting out of the way. That's the dexterity. So you have +2 in dexterity,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is pretty good.
Although that
6.
not a good number. So you're going to get hit
You
by
get an
the arrow.
experience.
Yes. So roll,
I've been hit.
not roll, mark 1 experience on your character sheet.
Where do I?
And you will roll a d6, and that is how much damage you will take from this arrow.
1.
1.
So you have
take-
one,
Do you have
one
armor?
armor, though, so you don't take anything.
Nice.
Nice. All right.
Leather's hide.
Arrows will be piercing 1, though. So
Oh.
you go through, you will take 1 damage.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Where do I?
So your hit points.
Do I
Yeah.
have to
Actually,
put
on
that?
Should have a hit point number.
Oh, okay.
So what is your maximum?
My maximum is 15.
So it'll go to 14 then.
All
So
right,
you'll
so
just
just
reduce
put
by 1
14.
for now. A small hit. And,
Okay.
Oh, hit
Just
points
put a
are
scratch.
Constitution, not con.
yeah, and you
Yes.
are muted, Kurt. But yes, hit points are Constitution, not Con. It's one of the
So-
few places where a distinction is made on the character sheet. It tells you to add plus the word Constitution instead of the abbreviation.
Oh, wait, no, I
CON.
had it. My Constitution is actually that bad.
Okay.
It's my lowest one. I was like, how does she have 15 hit points?
Because she doesn't
Because
suck
she-
as
I have
much.
21.
Yeah. What? She's
Man, I
sturdy.
thought I was stuffed with a 20.
So, where am I hit? How am I hit?
At this point, as you're running, the arrow just nicks the back of your calf as you're running, and it hurts a little bit.
Okay.
Like a bee sting,
So
probably.
60.
It'll probably bleed
Okay.
a little bit, but it's not horrible. And you're going to try and change into a bird now?
Yes.
Go for that, because that's your shapeshifter move. Let's see how that works out.
That looks better.
Wait, am I adding anything to this?
Whatever the move says to add. It should be wisdom, but it's always
Right,
good
okay.
to check with the move itself.
So 9.
Okay. I think that gives you 2 holds.
That does give me 2 holds.
All right. So you
Okay.
immediately do your leap into a bird move,
Yes.
and you're now up in the air.
I want to specify that I'm a hawk.
Okay.
And I want to find out where these arrows are coming from.
Okay. As soon as you've done that, we'll use 1 hold to use your hawk vision to immediately determine that it looks like probably the same band of hobgoblins, 4 of them, just off like 50 feet to that side, and a small figure cloaked in shadows that you can't quite make out. But
Okay.
the 4 hobgoblins are standing there with bows, and they had just shot these arrows.
I'd like to just perch into a tree.
Okay.
And I'd like to stay perched, but then turn back into my human form in the tree.
You want to hang out in the tree
Yes.
as a human. Okay.
Yes.
What is so yes, and let's find out what's Breton up to at this point.
Breton is trying to figure out if the branch is going to break under her that she's sitting on.
It's going to be happening while this is going on. So yeah, it could happen.
Right. So
She's probably smart enough to land on a strong branch.
Yes.
right. So
I say
I'm
probably.
I'm grabbed the arrow out of my cape,
Yeah.
which is ripped, and I'm also trying to discern where they are because she's seen them, but I haven't. So
well, you
I'm-
know which direction they came from.
I know which direction I got
Yeah.
shot at, so I'm going to basically kind of full speed keep running. Arrows are coming here. I'm kind of running around the side, quickly up over roots and trees and
What about
rocks and
cloud?
trying to get around. What's that?
What about Cloud?
That's a good question. I got to start thinking about my animal
Yeah,
companion.
because that's a benefit as well as a detriment when I kill it.
Yes. So I would, I guess.
mean, if
I would
Did I say when?
command Cloud to flank them from the other side. So
Yeah.
arrows are coming this way. I'm trying to skid around this way, and I'm trying to send her around
Okay.
on this side. So we both come in from the sides.
And what is Uriel doing?
I'm going to see if I can create a weapon of flame and charge in straight down the middle since everybody else is coming around the flank.
Okay. Let's see what happens with the weapon of flame. What is that move, by the way?
It's called Burning Brand.
Okay.
Let's see if I can pull it off.
Oh, I'm seeing low numbers.
Yeah, it's not going to.
Who didn't get experience yet? I think it's just Lenore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris rolled a fail.
Yeah. Total of 5.
Total of 5 is a failure. Does it tell you specifically what happens on a failure?
No. This
Okay.
doesn't happen.
So there are some moves in the game that tell you what happens on a failure. Everything that does not tell you what happens on a failure is what I determine happens on a failure. In this case, you're right outside the town where the grass is growing a little high, and when you try to summon your flaming weapons, you set the grass around you on fire. So there's a small brush fire where you are right now.
Actually, that works out for me.
Is that going
This
to
is
raise
Trillium's
any kind of
forest.
alarm?
Doesn't matter.
Well,
I
at this
totally-
point,
I could help. I could do something with this.
This is a thing that actually lets Lenore know there's something going on not too far away outside of town because
Start hearing a bell ringing.
well, spontaneous fires in the middle of
Yeah.
the night don't happen very often. So the fire that just started outside
So I can
of
see it?
town. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a relatively open town. When you just look to the north from where you are.
See a fiery glow.
Yeah, there's a
Uh-oh.
fire that's just started over there.
Oh Lord, there's a fire.
So I guess I'll let the sheriff know that I'm heading out,
Okay.
and I'll wake him up because he's had a few hours of rest. I'll wake him up.
He has.
I'll head towards where I see the flames.
Run towards
Pretty
the
good.
fire.
Pretty good chance the immolator's there.
There is. There's a really good chance. A fire and the brush right outside of
Yeah.
town. Yeah.
So I'll head that way.
Okay, Breton, you've flanked. You can now, as you've gotten closer, you can see that it looks like the same group of hobgoblins
Right.
that were at the cave. But you just see them. You just see the 4 hobgoblins.
Right. So I'm much more interested in knowing who the little guy is.
But you don't see the little guy.
Right. But I'm not worried about if I have to kill the hobgoblins.
Okay.
Because I strongly sense that they are not running the show here.
Okay.
So at this point, I've got Cloud coming around on one side, I'm coming around on the other side,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a strong bond of loyalty with my animal companions, so we're like on the same wavelength, and so
In
we're going
tune.
to try to time so that we attack essentially, at the same time on one of the hobgoblins.
Okay.
So I'll be coming in from one side and behind, and she'll be coming in on the front from the other side.
Also, I'm perched in that tree.
You are there in the
And I
tree,
have my-
and you can see what's going on.
I've got my bow and arrow.
You have your bow and arrow.
So I want to take a shot.
Okay.
I want to take a shot at these hobgoblins because I'm sick and tired of them coming up in my woods
Being all hobgoblin-y.
and
Smelling.
stashing stuff
Yeah.
in my caves.
Stinking up the place.
Stinking up the place. I want them out. I'm angry.
Yeah, hobgoblins aren't
In
good.
this.
They're not good.
So I want to fire some shots.
What is your
These bad
attack
boys.
for Breton? Are you just going in with a sword, or are you using a bow and arrow? What is your attack?
Well, so in this one, I would be coming with my short sword.
Okay.
And I think because I think this would be a coordinated attack of the same target,
Yeah.
I can add my animal's ferocity to my damage.
Mm-hmm.
Its ferocity is +1.
Yes. You just need to hit.
Okay,
So this becomes a
roll to
basic
hit.
move of hack and slash
Hack and slash
because
with
you are using your sword.
strength if it's with
I
sword.
believe hack and slash is strength.
Okay.
Unless you're using a finesse. I think it's finesse. No, it's not finesse. What is it called? I can't remember.
I asked because I have +2 to dex and +0 to strength.
There's a number, or there's a thing in this game, and I have it over here.
I was looking at something
But
else.
if you have, what are the tags on your weapon? Are there any tags on your weapon? I may do that.
Close for
Good.
short sword and near far for hunter's
Okay.
bow.
So we may look at difference in weapons for you, but for now we're going to do that with strength
Okay.
because that's your default.
Yeah,
for
so
hack and
mechanic-wise, I should probably be using my bow, but it seems to make sense for this first attack to try to come in melee.
Yep.
I'm going to try to come in, swing for its neck, and then have Cloud attack, viciously for the throat.
And I found it. The tag in Dungeon World is called precise,
Okay.
and that's where you use dexterity on a hack and slash.
I do not have that.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Come on, baby.
Okay, Pookie.
7 plus 0 plus 1 for my animal, so 8.
That's 8. And on a hack and slash, what happens on an 8?
Das ist eine gute Frage. I don't know.
Deal your damage.
You're going to do what with the frog?
I said, that's a good question.
You deal your damage to the enemy, and the enemy makes an attack against you.
Ta-da! So what's your damage?
Oh, so I roll a d8.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hang on. Add ferocity to damage. I add the +1 to damage, so it's 7, but it's still...
Still the same result.
Okay.
Yep.
I rolled an 8.
You roll an
Plus
8?
1.
Okay.
9 damage. That's a lot of damage.
He's able to take the his bow and jam it towards your face. So let's see if you get hit. You have a danger to defy here.
Defy danger.
How are you doing it?
Oh.
With a bow coming at your face. He's just kind of trying to stab you in the face with the bow. Or hit you in the face. I guess it's not really
I
stab.
mean, my guy generally is more dexterous and
Yeah.
strong, so he's going to kind of make a...
Okay. So you try to duck out of the way,
Yeah.
move out of the way.
And he rolled
Yeah.
a 7, and I guess +2 for dex for 9.
9. Okay. So I will do this as a half damage thing because that's a partial hit.
Okay.
So roll a d6 and take half of that. Round.
4 would be 2.
Yeah.
And do I get any armor?
Not unless you're wearing some on your face.
Nope.
Okay.
So I take 2 damage.
All right.
To the face.
To the face.
Oh, my pretty face.
And then your short sword just cleaves into him. How? How is it you end his hobgoblin-y life?
So I was trying to get him across
Yeah.
the throat, so
Okay.
it'd be a very fast just slash straight
Okay.
across his throat.
So he gets that bow up just in time to hit you as you're slicing across his neck, and his icky green blood spews out onto your sword and you, and he falls over gurgly.
Awesome.
Thanks, roll.
Ew.
And then just as a last thing, I'm not the kind of character who's going to stand there and want to go toe-to-toe with 3 other hobgoblins.
Yeah.
So this is a slash, and I'm going to keep kind of roll and keep running to get away now.
Okay.
With the idea being, if I can attack again after these guys, I'm going to use my bow probably.
And I'm trying to catch up to you guys to help out because I got some twitchy fingers.
And you'll be there to twitch momentarily. Let's see what happens with the arrow that Trillium shoots into the crowd.
Yeah. So I'm perched up in my tree,
Yeah.
human form, and I'm ready to kick some ass.
So this is going to be
At a distance.
This is going to be a volley
Okay.
from the basic move sheet because you're using a ranged weapon.
Sticks. All right.
Yeah.
10.
A 10, and that's good because that means you get to deal your damage without any downsides.
Your shot.
That's it. So what is the damage that you do? It's your damage die on your character sheet.
6. D6.
Yep. So go ahead and roll a d6.
2.
Okay.
So what does that mean?
So that means you hit him. Where would this arrow hit him? Where were you aiming for? Were you aiming? Does it matter?
Oh, I was aiming
kinds of
for the
questions.
throat.
Okay, so because it's not enough to kill him, it hits right below his throat, right, or like in his back, right below the neck. Let's
Okay.
go there.
All right.
So the arrow hits him. He kind of yells like a hobgoblin yells, however that noise sounds,
Yeah.
kind of thing. What are you doing standing in the fire? What's up with that?
Well, I look down disappointed. I got this fire around me. I'm like, all right. So I start spinning my hands around each other and try to make a pillar of flame out of the fire using my Zuko style bend flame to my
Zuko
will
style.
to get a pillar of flame to go over to the hit the hobgoblin.
Oh, let's try that. What does that do?
Well, if I can get the plus 10, I could actually does whatever I
It
want.
does what you want.
If I do 7 to 9, the effect is short lived, lasting only for a moment. But if I can get the 10, I could keep that pillar going. And just move it around.
What you get?
Ooh.
All right, that is a 12.
I'd say 12 would do it. So there are 3 hobgoblins there that are still. Well,
I'm assuming I
not
can only
dead.
hit one though, but I can keep the
Oh,
fire
yeah.
going.
I don't see why not.
All right, so
As
pillar
soon
of
as you
flame
set
on
one
top of a
fire.
guy.
Yep.
That is 4 points of damage.
Okay. So the one with the arrow that just hit him in the back,
Gets roasted.
the flame just kind of comes down and encompasses
Yes.
him, and he's burning momentarily before flopping over, which is about the time that Lenore arrives. As
Yeah, and that gives
cooked
me a good
hobgoblin.
shot of where they are.
Yeah.
So
you can see the other.
I lazed
I'm
the
He
target.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, right there.
Paint
Yeah,
that
I'm
target.
going to break out my magic missile
Oops.
Okay.
and target one of the hobgoblins.
So magic missile, I believe you just have to cast the spell. It just hits, but you do have to roll to cast a spell.
Right, that's what I was doing.
Okay, just want to make sure you know. A different game, you have to roll to hit, but not with a magic missile. In this game, you still have to roll to cast the spell.
Right.
Go. It's spinning.
Make it
It's
happen.
spinning.
That's
Make it
good.
happen.
you
Be
got?
9 on the dice plus 2 for wisdom.
That
11.
sounds right. 11 is a very good success.
So that is a
No
magic-y
downside.
magic missile, and it is a bright blue ball of sparky energy
Bright blue ball of sparky energy.
and 2d4 damage.
And the hobgoblin says, "That's a really bright blue ball of sparky energy. You gonna hit me with it?"
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we're gonna see how hard. 6,
Okay.
That's pretty solid.
What does it look like when it explodes in the target?
like
On a target, or does it explode? I said explode.
it looks like he gets fried by lightning. Like just the whole what you think
okay.
of electricity zapping somebody.
So
Yeah,
So
and then he kind of falls over, smoldering.
we got a sword to the neck, a column of fire,
An arrow.
and, the arrow, and the electric ball of energy. So there's one hobgoblin left, and you are the closest, Breton.
Are we able to see this dark figure now that there's some more light over there?
No.
Okay.
We better not kill this last one. We better interrogate him.
At this point, the only one who saw the figure after you
right.
saw it at the house was
Trillium.
Trillium.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
'Cause
Hawkeyes.
the Hawkeyes were able to see that figure.
So I'm going to realize
So
that this
right
is the last
now,
one.
nobody else has saw the figure here until she says something. Technically, you guys don't know.
How big is the hobgoblin?
About your size, average human size,
I'm going to command.
but they're stockier, bigger. What's a better way to put it? They're bigger sideways, not bigger height.
So they look like.
All right, so
Yeah,
so Cloud has
this is
the
a hobgoblin.
It happens.
Yeah,
Cloud's strength is intimidating,
yeah.
and she has hunt and fight monsters as the two things I selected for her
Okay.
trainings. So I'm going to sit Cloud on the last one, but not to kill,
Okay.
to essentially pounce on it and look terrifying, with the goal that we can
Okay.
tie him up, interrogate him, do what we want, and see if we can at least learn who this other small creature
Okay.
was. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And, for the sake of making it happen, we'll say that happens. So the others, as you could be walking closer while Cloud, the wolf, she jumps onto or into maybe tackle the last hobgoblin down to the ground, with the bared fangs, maybe even clamp on the throat a little without squeezing kind of thing.
Very intimidating.
Right up
Yeah,
on the
because
chest,
exactly.
pinning him down.
Big, intimidating wolf. And it's a very stark contrast. You've got the blue electricity still sparking on one dead hobgoblin. So with that blue electricity sparking on one and the fire still burning another, you've got the light flashing in the wolf's eyes and the gleaming teeth over the hobgoblin's mouth or the throat. And so all of you are there. Excuse me. And one thing that was mentioned, Kelly, while you'd stepped out for a moment, your character, Trillium, was the only one to see the small figure there, and you don't see that small figure there anymore. So the hobgoblins, there were 4 hobgoblins, 3 of which are now dead. One is now pinned down by Cloud the Wolf, and that other small figure you saw when you first were in hawk form,
cloak.
you didn't see it anymore. The one cloaked in shadows, yeah.
Okay.
So that figure isn't there right now as we get further into this. Brendan?
So we've got a hobgoblin we can interrogate. We could try to track if we can see this other one.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, you want question first. See what you can tell us.
Yeah.
Because I thought I saw somebody small, dark figure.
You definitely
in town,
saw something.
but I
yes.
couldn't make it out.
Right.
And it
That
wasn't a
confirms
hobgoblin.
my suspicions that there's somebody else, with these people.
Right.
I'll put the fire out, by the way. So.
Oh, okay. That's probably
wanna
good.
So I think I would keep Cloud on his chest
Yeah.
and say, but ask her or command her to get her teeth off of his throat,
Yeah.
which she may or may not do since she's stubborn. And then I don't know. I guess I would be the one who asked it. Where his boss was.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The short guy, the small figure. We saw him or her. Where is it?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Does he have any a weapon, like a sword or
Yes.
helmet? I'll
He
take
has a short sword and the bow that he was using.
I'll take the short sword and just I can still use my handcraft ability to unmake the item, so I'll just have it melt in my hands.
That's pretty nasty.
Yeah, I'll do this to you if you don't talk.
He went over somewhere else. He ran away.
And I will
It's like, that way. And he kind of tries to indicate without breaking the skin on his neck against the wolf's canines.
Can I use guidance to figure out which direction that figure went?
Tell me what guidance is, and we'll figure it out.
The symbol of your deity appears before you and gestures towards a direction or course of action that your deity would have you take and then disappears. The message is limited to gesture only. Communication is severely limited.
I like it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cast that spell. What does it look like when you cast that spell?
Well, I hold my new symbol that Uriel made, and
It's probably still warm.
yeah, flip out the tiny little dagger in it and
Okay.
make a little Z on my arm.
Okay.
She's a freak.
That's so different because in my mind it was like Wile E. Coyote with the finger that comes up and then points this way.
That's what we'll find out. Yeah.
And then her hand, maybe.
And I guess maybe whichever direction I need to go, the blood will roll that way.
I like
Oh
that
man,
idea.
that's awesome.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
eerie, but
I'll just
Yeah.
hold my arm out and it'll just go that way.
Let's find
Maybe.
out.
That's freaky
7?
like the daughter of a pastor.
9?
9? Freaky like the daughter of a pastor. And they're freaky. Okay, so first pick your 7 to 9 result from casting a spell. This is another one where it might be easy for you to just say you forget it, but
Yeah, I think I'll forget
I
it.
mean, depending on how it works out for you, you might want that spell back. Who knows? But you figure your negative out first. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll forget it.
All right. So the when you make the cut, when you cast guidance, the way that Zoraika treats this is it pulls into a circle about the size of a nickel, and then it forms into an arrow, and it pulls your arm towards the northeast. So that direction.
All right. Figure went that way.
And it's the opposite of what the hobgoblin was indicating.
Should we just end the hobgoblin and head that way?
I'm going to tell Cloud to buckle down and then tell him last chance. Who was it? Who was he and where's he going? Last chance. And
Because we know he's lying now.
right. And then have Cloud kind of tighten up.
The hobgoblin spits into the wolf's face.
Oh, he did not.
Oh.
Whoever this dark figure has got some loyalty on these hobbits, or they're frightened of him. Something.
Those are almost synonymous when it comes to goblins and hobgoblins. Loyalty and fear, yeah.
Anyone mind if I let Cloud have some
You know
dinner
what?
here?
Because of the way you've described your wolf so far, as soon as the spit hits, she clamps, and that'll finish him off. Wasn't
Saves
your choice.
saves me with the command.
There you go. And then she spits out the blood.
Yeah.
Back in
Apparently
his
the blood
face.
isn't that nice either.
Yeah.
So perhaps some tracking to the northeast.
Yeah, sounds like we should do hunt and track. I don't know. I don't know if this figure is leaving a trail of clues, if it's corporeal or not.
You know what will determine that? Your roll.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so
Because the reality of the situation is determined by the result of your roll.
okay.
Because if you roll and you successfully track, then that means there was something for you to track.
That
Although I
sounds
did
good.
see footprints
Should
in
I-
town.
You
Should
did.
I heal you?
Uh,
Took some damage.
I took 2 points.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Trillium
wait.
took 1 point.
Yeah, let's wait.
yeah, I might wait.
It doesn't
I'm
hurt
okay
that
for
bad
now.
yet.
I'm still perched in the tree.
Yeah.
Unless you got down, but you're right nearby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you were close enough that you were shooting an arrow into the dark and seeing what you were hitting.
Okay.
And you're welcome to just jump down and join the party.
As an aside on Dungeon World hit points, I don't think I've ever died in Dungeon World. It takes a lot, it seems like.
You got pretty close when you were experimenting being a druid.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I could have.
Controlling the elements, if you remember that.
Oh, God.
oh, yeah.
Falling into the earth.
Oh, I take it all back. I almost died
Yeah.
several times.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember.
I would have stood there
Yes.
a gust of wind and kill my, what was it, your
you're-
minstrel that was along with you.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
almost killed her.
I think that was Shadrach. That was totally. All right, so I rolled hard 8 on the dice, plus 1. Hang on, plus 1, I think. Yep, plus 1 wisdom for 9.
Now, does your animal companion help you at all with wisdom based on what you're
Why,
doing?
absolutely. It says,
Yeah.
when I work with my animal companion on something it's trained in. Oh,
Any tracking?
I have hunting.
I would say that
yeah.
you're on the hunt right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I
aren't
do
you?
not have scout, but I definitely have hunt. I'm on hunt track.
Even if you aren't, Cloud is probably on the hunt right
And
now.
then, so then I get to add its cunning to my roll, which is plus 2, so I will be at 11,
Okay.
Ooh.
which is a good roll. Man, I got to remember this command. I'm going to put a big star next to it.
And that's why I want to keep reminding you, because I want you to take advantage of the animal companion.
Yeah, I would use that for
That's pretty
everything.
powerful. Yeah.
You just have to
I'm
figure
gonna
out
hunt down
how.
some food in
And
this inn.
In this case, it's for me, it's kind of obvious. If you're using a wolf to help you track somebody,
Right.
I mean, any kind of dog to help you track somebody who just ran away from a scene, that's a natural thing.
Right. I mean, if
Right.
it smells,
All right.
it's on it.
Now, if you had a different kind of animal that might not have that same characteristic, it might not be so easy to chase it. But
Right.
anyway,
And if
we
this
got
is a
that.
Geist, then it may not be able to
Yeah.
smell it, but it's at least going to try.
Something,
So.
So what you notice is there are tracks, and there are clear tracks of something that has relatively small feet, a little bigger than your fist. I don't know, I said it's like size 7 or something before. Not very large feet. And you're able to track it into the woods, and it just continues in that direction for a while. Like, you can chase it for minutes. And then it just kind of veers sharply towards the direction of where the cave was. Or is. The cave's still in the same place.
Okay, since I had the 10 plus, so on a 7 plus, I follow the creature's trail until there is a significant change in its
Yep.
direction or mode of travel. On a 10 plus, I also get to choose one of the following 2.
Go ahead.
Either determine what caused the trail to end, or gain a useful bit of information about my quarry,
Yeah.
and the GM will tell me what. So I would
Okay.
like to gain a useful piece of information about it.
The tracks that are being left behind are deeper than they should be for the size of creature that you think it is. So it's heavier than it should be.
He's very dense.
Very dense.
Possibly a dwarf.
Could be. Or something unnatural.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, it's definitely not ghostly if it's heavier.
Right.
But
And you said we saw it swerve towards the cave?
yeah, it's like it went in one direction for, again, minutes at a fast pace, and then turned sharply, and you immediately recognize that was the direction towards the cave, and you're not that far from the cave now.
Okay. All right. So, and I could continue to track it that way. If
Oh
I
yeah,
want to.
yeah. Your tracking didn't stop because it changed direction.
Okay.
mainly because of your whole 10+ piece. Everyone else is going along, I presume, just following
Yep.
the tracker.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, just to see where the sun's
just
up.
keep going and follow it.
As you get closer to where the cave is, you notice the smell of hobgoblin, as you should know now, that nasty, decaying food, rotting nastiness smell. It's getting stronger as you get towards the cave. That smell wasn't outside of the cave last time you guys were there.
Although we did leave it
There might
open.
be more hobgoblins.
That's true. Yeah, it could be.
So again,
Hold it,
as
hold
you are up there at the point, making sure you're tracking properly, you're noticing these things, as is Cloud, and communicating with each other. There's definitely something different, not too far up ahead.
Right. Where is Trillium at right now?
Following along in some
I'm with
way.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
together.
So I'm with Breton.
Well, everyone's together.
We're all
He's
together.
just up front, following
Okay.
the trail, and everyone's keeping up with him and his wolf.
So I don't know these two as well as I know Trillium, although we're not best friends by any stretch. But being a ranger, I'm going to end up signaling without talking a lot more,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be up at the point, so y'all will start to kind of know. But you'll already know more of my signals, so I'll kind of signal the smell, because I'm up front. So if something indicating smell and a number that maybe there's more. So I'm trying to indicate to you maybe there's more hobgoblins. Can you smell them? And then presumably you guys are behind me and you can relate that to them. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
at least trying to do. And eventually my hope is as if we stay as a party,
Yeah.
I'll be able to signal these things to you guys and you'll know what I'm talking about. Without
And within a few moments more, if it wasn't obvious what he was signaling, you start
Just
to get that smell.
smell it.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. So everybody at some point went into the cave. It's the smell from the cave. However,
But it's
having
not
been
in the
cave, you know the smell didn't come out of the cave. The smell was being drawn through the cave to the opposite side, so it shouldn't smell on this side. So the clear indication there's something on this side that stinks that wasn't there before.
All right.
And it stinks like the things you just burned and electrocuted and shot and, had your wolf pounce on.
Right. So now I'm going to signal kind of for caution and to slow down because we don't know what's
Okay.
up there yet.
Right.
So,
So as you signal for caution, I would like to shapeshift into a wolf so that I can kind of team up with Cloud and have a heightened sense of smell and possibly, if we need to, once we go in there, I could team up with Cloud and,
It'd be cool if you
Have like a pack
turned into a
mentality
white wolf, so it could be kind of a distraction too. That would be neat.
Okay. That works, yeah.
I'm just thinking of it from a tactical perspective. If there's two white wolves, it could be distracting rather than one white and one black or whatever, right?
Okay. So I'm going to roll for
Shapeshifting.
shape-shifting,
Yeah.
if
see
that's
how it
cool with
works out.
everyone.
Yep.
I don't think they get a choice. They
Yeah.
can't do it.
Oh, all right.
Do whatever you want.
It's all you. Just like nobody got to pick if Uriel started a brush fire or not.
Did we ever put that up, by the way?
He did. He said it. He was putting it out.
All right, so I got 11.
Okay.
So that's three
Three
holds
for the feathered white wolf.
for the feathered white wolf, yeah.
Where are the feathers on the wolf?
So the feathers on the wolf are going to be coming down from the back of the ears, and they're going to be kind of gray and white.
Cool. All right.
But they're there. They are me.
And who else wants to do what for preparation here?
See if I can actually
If
conjure
anything.
a weapon this time.
Okay, let's try
Now,
it.
can I just say one thing
Nope.
before we keep going? When I'm in wolf form, am I able to still talk to Cloud?
That's what I asked you before. How would you talk when you're in the form of an animal? As a horse, you said you just made horse noises.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a wolf, you would make wolf noises. So yeah, it makes sense that you would be
Okay,
able to talk with
so-
a wolf. But as a wolf, you might not be able to talk with a squirrel.
Right. Okay,
So,
so am I able to
depending on how you
communicate
determine
to
it.
Cloud,
Yeah.
being
would
that
say
I'm
so.
also a wolf?
Yep,
Okay.
that makes sense to me.
Now, would that make it easier for Cloud to listen if I'm speaking to him?
I don't think it'll make any
As a
difference
wolf?
because
Okay.
you speak fluently wolf, whether you're a human or a wolf.
Okay. All right.
You might have less of a human accent when you're a wolf,
Okay.
right? You're a native wolf now instead of wolf as a second language.
Okay. All right.
If you want to look at it that way, it's easier to make the right sounds with all the right larynx and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But all the
She
words are still
actually
the
talks to
same.
them, whereas mine says I don't talk to them per se, but they always do what I want.
Always know, yeah.
Well, not always. Cloud is stubborn, right?
That's true.
Is
That's
it they always know what you want, or is it do what you
It
want?
says, but it always acts as you wish it to.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
But its weakness,
Until it's stubborn.
choose as many weaknesses as it has instincts. So it could be like flighty, savage, slow, broken, frightening, forgetful, stubborn, or lame. And mine is stubborn.
I'd like to have forgetful, stubborn, and flighty.
right.
It would just be like,
Sick chopper.
Constant distraction. Yeah.
Oh, butterfly.
So what do we got for weapons this time?
See if I
Chris?
can
What are
pull
you
it
trying-
off.
What is the weapon you're trying to conjure?
I'm trying to
'Cause you can
do
do
like
just
a
for anything.
yeah, it can be any weapon, but I will try to do a flaming sword.
A flaming sword
Always a good
of
choice.
doom.
Yes, 12.
nice.
All right.
There you go.
I think the rule is I have to not see the dice because when you rolled them, I
Maybe.
could see them. It was a 3 and a 1.
Stop looking.
Yeah, I'm not going to look anymore. All right, so you got it. Now, what happens on a success with that?
On a 10 plus, choose 2 of the following tags. On a 7 to 9, choose 1. So I'm gonna, for me, it'll be hand weapon, and then I will use +1 damage.
Okay, so you have a flaming sword +1.
Nice.
Well, I guess it'll be okay. The weapon always begins with the fiery tainer and 3 use tags.
Yeah.
So I'll still just hand and +1 damage. So yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not throwing this around or anything.
Okay.
But it doesn't have the. Well, I guess it automatically has the dangerous tag. So I'm not.
Yes.
I will not be able to remove that.
Yes. So it is a dangerous flaming sword. So like the flaming part is kind of out of your control for the most part.
Yeah.
If it hits something, it could start it on fire.
Yeah.
That's how I see dangerous.
Yeah.
But that happened already. So
Yeah. So
what are you
shoot
going
it
to
already.
do? And what is Lenore doing, if anything, to be prepared for what's
Oh,
about to
that's
happen?
me.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay.
Just watching.
And
Looking
Breton,
for an opportunity.
you're up there now. You're up front. Others are being prepared based on the information they got from you and what they've learned. You can now see that at the front where all the boulders are, so there were boulders and then more boulders and then the cave entrance. Out in front of the boulders now, there's like this semicircle of hobgoblins, probably about 10 of them, out there just kind of looking into the darkness, trying to see what's coming.
10 of them.
It's not
That's a
that
lot.
dark
Okay.
That's
anymore.
a lot.
It's not that dark anymore.
I was trying to emphasize there was more stink.
Yeah.
There's a bunch. Yeah.
That is probably a few too many hobgoblins for a head-on assault for us, don't you think?
Maybe we'll just cut a couple to pieces and they'll break them around and take off.
I wonder if we could sneak around. There's a back entrance.
I can't really sneak around with the flaming sword.
It's a good point.
He's got a point. Yeah.
I don't know. There's 4 of us and 2 wolves.
Well,
There's 3 of you and 2
3
wolves.
of us. A good point.
Yeah, 3.
Good point. Good point.
We just mathed. That was
we
good.
just mathed. Uriel, what do you think?
I think I go in and start making a mess, and you guys start picking them off with some bow shot. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can do. Oh no, I don't have it yet.
Does Lenore have a bow?
No, I have a mace.
Mace. But you.
But
do
I
have,
also have magic
I was
missile.
going to say
Yeah, I
you
was
do
gonna
have
say.
as many magic missiles as you have rolls of dice until
Yes.
it
So
fails.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah,
easy when you roll 10 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want blot out the sun, but I don't have it yet.
And it's nighttime.
Plus, it is night.
It's
It
blot
was
out
the middle
moon.
of the night.
What is it?
Blot out the moon. It's nighttime. You can't blot out the sun.
Yeah,
in the night.
exactly.
I mean, come on.
Can I use? Will I be able to use called shot on my first one? Will they be a defenseless or surprised enemy at range?
It depends on how long you guys take to situate and if they notice you in the meantime. Because there is, I mean, he's holding a torch, essentially.
Yeah.
Not too far away. I'm giving you guys a few seconds to prepare before something happens.
Right. Well, I'm going to
So-
ready my bow and be at range and ready to shoot. And if I can get one who does not know that I'm there, I think I
Yeah.
can use called shot, which gives me a little bit of a.
Now, I will tell
bonus.
you, as a matter of mechanics, the way I would look at it would be as soon as he charges in with the flaming sword, the first one you shoot at is going to be the one that's easy enough to hit a called shot.
Right.
Because they'll be looking at the guy with a flaming sword.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That part makes sense to me.
Right.
And if it stays that way, if you stay in the shadows and shoot from the shadows, they might stay called shottable.
Right. So I'd actually like to pick the one right in the front of where he would be running, so probably dead center. Call my shot for the head, and then that way if I can potentially stun him, so even if I don't kill him, he'll just be standing there drooling, waiting for you. If I roll a 10 plus. So
if you roll 10 plus.
Are you ready to go?
Ready to go.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have the ranger with the arrow knocked far back, and this is a nice sharpened arrow tip, one of the fresh ones from the smithy. 2 wolves getting ready to charge in from the sides. Flaming sword leaping into the fray, and a sparkly blue ball of magic missile getting ready to fly. And we'll see what happens with all of that on our next episode of Adventures from the Shed. In the meantime, we're going to wrap this one up, and we can all say
bye-bye.
Ciao.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.